Welcome to a day of cutting for me. Today, I'm gonna go through everything I eat in a day, explain to you guys why I eat the foods I eat, and why I choose the times that I choose to eat the foods at. First things first, it's already 10 o'clock in the morning. I have not eaten a single thing. I was getting my daughter ready for school, prepping for the day. So now I'm home. I've been sick for the last couple of days, so I'm getting over a little bit of a flu. So I'm not like 100%, but I'm good enough to start getting back into the rhythm of things because I haven't been dieting or hitting my protein or anything. Just hard to do when you're sick. And I'm gonna start training again today too. So I wanna make sure my nutrition's on point and get back on track with my diet as soon as possible. That being said, the only thing I've had is this Ghost energy drink. And the main reason is I don't like coffee. So I drink 0-calorie energy drinks. These are quite expensive. So usually I opt for Monster Zero just because it's cheaper. And now I'm going to take my supplement stack. I wouldn't suggest just taking any vitamins. What I would do is go to your doctor and see if you have a vitamin deficiency because you never know what you actually need. A lot of your vitamins do come from the foods you eat. So if you're eating a healthy, well-balanced diet, then you'll usually hit most of your vitamin markers. But for me, I've had my blood work done and this is just to optimize my diet. First thing I take is a multivitamin, which is I would suggest everyone to do. This one is not a great multivitamin. It's just a cheaper one from Costco, that's why I got it. But what I would suggest you do is get one from your supplement store. They're usually formulated a lot better than this one. And then in this little bowl, I have all my pills. Vitamin D, I take 5 of these, even though it's recommended 1. I just saw a study about how 5,000 IUs has helped increase athletes' performance. So I wanted to just test it out on myself. So I'm taking 5 of those so I could get 5,000 IUs. Vitamin B6 and zinc. Now this zinc is 50 milligrams per tab. And this is why you have to be very careful about taking supplements or vitamins because 50 milligrams is quite a bit. I think the recommended amount is 30 grams a day. So if you take this and supplement it, you're already going over, and it literally says on the label, it can cause copper deficiency. So just taking this can make you feel worse. What I do, because it's so high, I cut this in half. So it's 25 milligrams. Obviously it's not gonna be 100% accurate, but it gets me a better amount than if I took 50. The main reason why I even started taking these is because I felt super tired all the time. I was working out, I was sleeping, I was dieting really well, and I was eating at maintenance, and I still felt tired all the time. So I thought that maybe my zinc levels were low because that's where my research has led me to believe. So I started supplementing with this, and every time I took it, I felt like complete crap. So I realized it's because I was taking such a high amount, it just did not mix well. So once I cut it in half, I started to feel a lot better. Omega-3s, I take 2 in the morning and 2 at night. I don't like salmon. I mean, I don't mind it, but I don't have it. It's quite expensive. And I would not choose to eat it. Like if I'm gonna eat it, I'll eat it, but it's not my first choice. So I supplement with these, and I know you can get omegas from eggs, which I do have. I also don't have a lot of eggs. I have them every day, but probably 2 at max just because they're very high in calories. So on a bulk, they're good, but on a cut, eggs are really hard to fit in. I choose to supplement my omega-3s. It's a good way to get them in without having to have it through your diet. Now, the last thing I take in the morning is fiber. Fiber is very key in your digestion. So a lot of times when you're eating a high protein diet, your stomach can get clogged up, especially colon and everything. And the longer all those waste products sit in your colon, the more likely you are to develop colon cancer and get diseases and everything. It's just not good for you to have, your stuff stuck up in there. So fiber helps move it along because you can't digest fiber, but it helps ease everything and just clean out your path. So it's very important you get your daily amount of fiber. And I know most people don't get it because you have to eat a lot of veggies or a lot of grains. And most people don't have either or both. I try to eat veggies with every meal, and I have a decent amount of grains. Like I try to stick with whole grains, but I'm not always hitting my mark. So it's a good way to just supplement it. Remember, these are supplementation, they're not replacements. So they're just helping add on. That means I'm not just doing this and just having a horrible diet or just doing whatever I want because I'm supplementing them. It's just to help optimize it. Last thing I would say is if you're gonna take vitamins and they do make your stomach upset, something that helps me is making sure I eat a whole meal before I have them. So something that will fill your belly. so that it just helps ease it and you might not have that sick feeling from eating vitamins, from swallowing vitamins. Now, I'm gonna get breakfast ready. My breakfast changes every day. So some days I have a protein shake, some days I have eggs and turkey bacon. It just depends on what I'm feeling. But for today, I'm gonna stick with my high protein, lower carbs, and basically no fat breakfast. And that's just because if I have less calories in the morning, it means I have more calories at night when I'm more likely to binge. I don't know about most of you, but after working all day and working out, dealing with my daughter, you know, playing with her and doing all that, I get tired and I'm more likely to cheat on my diet in that fatigue state. So just having more calories, which means more meals at night, will make me more full and less likely to cheat on a cut. If I was on a bulk, I could definitely have a lot more food or even eating at maintenance. So for me, dieting is all about planning for what your body needs. So if you know you get hungry at certain times, like the morning, and you're more likely to cheat in the morning, then you can plan for that and you can have a bigger breakfast. It all just depends on you. The other thing about weighing all your food is making sure that the calories are accurate. So the more accurate you are with your calories, for me, the more variety of food I can have. Like, you don't have to have chicken, rice, broccoli, you know, just as plain boring meals. You can have a variety of food, and I even did it for my show. It just, you have to make sure you track. And that's why eating out is harder, because when you eat out, you have less control over the measurements and what you're actually putting in your body. So Greek yogurt, 0 calorie sweetener, just because even though the protein powder is sweetened, I find it's just really, really not that great. And it helps cut the protein flavor. And Greek yogurt is very sour as well. Actually, that's another tip. Since Greek yogurt is super sour, something I do is if you want to have sour cream, you could add Greek yogurt instead as a replacement, like on tacos and stuff. And it's honestly pretty good. So I'm just gonna have that for breakfast and then drink a lot of water. I've come up with this new rule of 3. 3 glasses of water per meal. 1 before you eat your meal, 1 while you eat your meal, and 1 after you eat your meal. What that will do is it'll help fill up your stomach. You're more or less likely to be hungry during your meal, even if it's a smaller portion size. Like if you do have, I don't know, chips or junk food, you have some water before you have your chips, you have some water while you eat your chips, you have some water after. That bowl of chips that wouldn't usually fill you up might actually give you more of a full feeling, therefore you're less likely to overeat on it. I wouldn't say just do that for junk food. I do it with every meal now, and it's helped me a lot because if you're dehydrated, your body can also mix the signals for dehydration and hunger. You're also preventing that as well as making sure your stomach just has more volume in it. So it is now 1:30. I have not eaten anything since breakfast and I have no clue what to eat. So anytime I have literally no idea what to eat, I just center my food around a protein source. So I pick what kind of protein I'm feeling for the meal, and then I'll throw rice, pasta, carbohydrate on top of it, and fats is the last thing on my mind usually. Speaking of which, I usually add chia seeds on my Greek yogurt in the morning, and I totally forgot about that. Prime example of it being on the last thing of my mind. Anyways, so yeah, now I gotta figure out what the hell I wanna eat. Okay, I got 2 options. I got a seafood boil that we made last night, and I have sinigang that we also had left over. I have some Alfredo sauce so I can make pasta. It's really dealer's choice, but honestly, because the sinigang and the seafood boil are already made, and seafood is usually really low calories, minus all of this butter sauce, which I will have to melt off, I'm gonna go with this option. Gonna have seafood boil and rice. This is the part where it gets really annoying and tedious to measure everything, but this is what you gotta do so you can make sure it's all accurate. So what I'll do now is just measure out all of the different individual seafood components so that I know exactly how much calories each of the seafood is gonna be. First up, I have like these pepperoni sausages I'm gonna take out and see how much that weighs. So I have 2 of them. That weighs 10 grams, 10 grams of that. Then I have mussels, which I personally love mussels and not just the ones on the body. Now we just measure these out. Next up is squid. So I got 2 different types of squid. Got the white people squid and the Asian squid. Measure this out. Usually my go-to seafood, just because it's easy, is shrimp. There's no fat and it's a good amount of proteins. That's that. 50 grams of squid. There was a lot of shrimp in that seafood boil. Everyone ate it last night. That's why there's only these left. So that's what I'm gonna have for that. And all that's left is all the butter, which I'm going to drain because sadly I can't have the butter sauce. Butter is crazy high in fats. And then because this is going to be my pre-workout meal, or like one of them, I'm gonna have a large amount of carbs. So I'm gonna add in 150 grams of rice. So this is meal number 3 of the day. I got my seafood mix, and then on the side, because I need a vegetable and I'm really too lazy to cook, I'm having 100 grams of just raw broccoli that I just munch on. I like broccoli, it's not the worst, and honestly, chewing it raw makes my jaw sore. So after chewing it for a while, then I'm just not as hungry because I'm just tired of eating. So yeah, have that, have water. This probably isn't even that much protein, but it's fine, I think. So I'm still full, but it's time to prep my pre-workout meal, because you want to have your pre-workout meal about 30 minutes to an hour before your workout so that you can properly digest it and utilize the nutrients for your workouts to help give you more energy and more fuel. Today, I am making my go-to pre-workout meal, which is an oatmeal bowl. The first thing is oats. The amount of oats I have is very dependent upon my calories. So if I have more calories, I'll have more oats, more energy for my workout. If not, I'll have less. I'm gonna have 50 grams a day. A little bit less than I usually have. I usually have about 60 to 70. Then I'm going to add in 1 scoop of protein powder. Something I've realize is you don't really need to add protein powder to foods. You could always just have protein powder on the side with a glass of water, and then you can eat the food normal. For me, I actually prefer it with it just because it makes it taste better. And the reason why I have a protein powder is because the amount of protein I need to consume, it's easier if you actually just put protein with every meal versus trying to fit it all in at the end. So it's better for me if I just make sure every meal has protein, even if it's just a pre-workout meal where I'm looking to just maximize carbohydrates. And then I have skim milk, so 0 fat, because the fatty milk, although I don't think it's bad, it's just really high in calories. And you want to mix this up really, really good so that you don't have the protein powder taste. And honestly, what I'll do is I'll microwave it for 30 seconds at a time, and each time take it out, mix it again before putting it back in, because I've noticed that as it starts to cook, the protein forms at the top and it starts to make this like thick clump, and it doesn't taste great. So the more you can dissolve your protein powder, the better tasting it'll be. Pour it in for 30 seconds. I like my oatmeal colder. I don't like it hot. Just gonna throw this in the fridge, let it cool down for a little bit. Now, while that cools down, I'm going to make my pre-workout and my protein shake. So I like to have a good quality, well-formulated pre-workout so that it can, actually be effective and work. This one, I think Rise has a pretty good, decent formula. It's pretty expensive, but it works really well and it tastes amazing to me. This is my favorite flavor by them. Pink Splash. It tastes like, I don't know how to explain it. It tastes like strawberry, but it also has this like popping candy in it. So it makes it like fizzy. I don't know. It's really, really good. This has a lot of caffeine if you do a full scoop. So I just do 1 full scoop because half a scoop has already 300 milligrams of caffeine. So that's 600 milligrams, which is insane. But caffeine doesn't even touch me anymore. But yeah, so that's my pre. Then I add my creatine to my pre-workouts for no other benefit than the taste. There's no extra benefits for having it for your pre-workout at a certain time or any time of day. Just throw it in whenever you feel like it. But adding it to my pre-workout helps with the taste. I can't taste the creatine when it's mixed in with the flavor of such a great pre. I will say for creatine, you don't need to do a loading phase. You don't need to cycle off. You just need to have creatine monohydrate. There's no other creatine you need. Whatever anyone tells you is a lie. Just take creatine monohydrate. I find the cheapest one I can find that's a good quality brand. So Allmax is a pretty good brand. It's one of the cheapest ones I could find. So just get that one. Create a fake problem to sell you a fake solution. That's what a lot of creatine brands are trying to do because they know creatine is the most backed. Anyways, going on to my protein shake. So I always bring a protein shake to the gym because if my workout is gonna take really long, not just my workout, sometimes I do cardio after I workout and stretch, maybe even go into the hot tub. So it just takes a lot longer. I like to just have protein shake with me to help kickstart protein synthesis, and because I get kind of hungry. So this can help with that. 200 grams of egg whites, it actually makes it taste way better. I don't know why, but egg whites taste like sweet water. Like I wouldn't recommend drinking it because of the texture. It's kind of like mucus, but The taste is really good, especially mixed with protein powder. And then I add in half a cup of skim milk. One thing I found, if you make your protein shake right before you drink it, like if I was to drink this a minute later after shaking it, there's so much little clumps and powders, they taste awful. So if you let it sit for like an hour or two, it actually dissolves all the little particles, so you never have to taste those protein powder bits. Just an added benefit. Okay, let's take out the oatmeal and see how that's doing. On top of it, I like to have a banana for potassium. No, I'm not gonna cut the counter. And yes, I measure it out because half a banana, full banana, there's so many different sizes of bananas. Some like it big, some like it small. And to be more accurate, it's easier just to measure it out. 50 grams of bananas. And then I add in 7 grams of chocolate chips. On a bulk, I'll add 1 full tablespoon, which is 15 grams, but it is quite a bit of calories. And those calories add up fast, so because I'm eating it 30 minutes before, I like to have just a faster digesting carb. And that is also the same thing with this, honey. Add 5 grams of honey. Just drizzle that on. Now you have a naturally sweet, besides the chocolate chips, tasting oatmeal bowl. It's really, really good. I highly recommend trying this for a pre-workout. Every time I eat this, my workouts are really, really good. So I would highly suggest it. And then I guess if you want, you can add a pinch of salt to this. I usually don't. I might try it today. I know salt helps for like electrolytes, and just add a pinch of salt. I don't want to add too much because I don't know how much sodium I actually have. I haven't been tracking my sodium lately. I'm gonna go get this down in me. I just got back from doing some errands with my daughter and working out. All I've had since I worked out is my protein shake that I showed you guys earlier. So I had that, and now it is already 7 o'clock. As for right now, I'm going to have dinner. This is something that I don't just have on hand, so it's not a consistent thing in my diet. It's very sporadic. So we're gonna have sinigang because it's leftovers. Honestly, it's pretty low calories. Like, it's just soup broth. It's like water-based. And then veggies, which are again low calories. The only thing that's higher in calories is the beef stew, which it's a fattier cut of beef, so more calories, but not that bad. I'm gonna have some with my daughter. I'm gonna prep ours right now. So what I do is I just measure each ingredient individually. First thing I'm gonna measure out is the beef because it's the highest amount of calories. Okay, 100 grams of beef. Now I'll measure out the spinach, and this is very tedious. And honestly, if you're just having food, you don't need to be this too diligent with it if you're not trying to bodybuild or anything, but you'll be able to know exactly how many calories you can eat and actually be able to eat a wider variety of foods because you know what your maintenance is, you know what you can fit in versus just kind of guessing. So 33 grams of cooked spinach, 50 grams of tomatoes. Something I like doing is making sure I input it right away into MyFitnessPal or whatever calorie tracking app you use so that you don't forget the measurements. And procrastinating, I always tend to just, oh, I'll just do it later. Then I forget what the measurements were. And then by the time I get around to it, I'm like, oh, I'm too lazy. I always make sure, put them in right away before I start eating. As I prep the meal, it's all ready to go. So I know exactly what I have. Okay, there's only 30 grams of daikon. Can't find any more. So now I'm just gonna add the soup broth. I'm gonna warm these two up. As you can tell, this is a soup. It's Filipino. If you've never heard of this, it's one of the best Filipino dishes, my favorite. Okay, the last step now is to add the rice. We are going to add in 150 grams. I would love to have more, but you know, calories, right? I'm trying to save some calories for later tonight.
I have a kite that I made for my project at school.
Yeah, it's so pretty. You gotta show the camera that way. Okay, let's eat. Oh, why do we have 3 spoons? What the? Oops.
This tastes good. And this is also one of my second favorites of Filipino food.
What's your favorite?
Oh. Remember that bread?
Oh, paniso? Honestly, when you're sick, sinigang is like one of my favorite go-to foods. It's just like warm, it's sour, it's like, I crave it every time I'm sick. It clears your throat, your sinuses. What's your favorite thing about Daddy?
You making videos and cooking me food. And also make me laugh. And also the robot thing.
Wait, why do you like when I make videos?
Because you make them for people on YouTube, and I like how you put me in it so they could see like kids and stuff, and they could see you, and I love you.
I love you too, baby.
And I like the videos because we could like watch it.
It is now 10:30 in the evening. This is going to be my final meal of the night. I did not plan for my meals well. Usually I like to have a lot more food at the night because I am starving right now, but I'm just gonna eat this, do some editing, and then go to bed right away so I don't think about food, because the longer I'm up, the more I'm gonna think about it. So this is my protein ice cream I made. As you saw earlier, I was making some, but this one is one that was already made from last night. This is just a mango protein powder from HydroPure, and then 1 cup of skim milk. So just blended that, and that's literally it. And then also a 0-calorie sweetener, but that's literally all it is. So it's like a protein shake in the form of ice cream. It's a lot more volume, a lot more filling, and you know, it gets like that itch of junk food. I'm not gonna lie, it's not like you're eating junk food, but something I've realized on a diet, especially during my cut for my competition, the longer you go on your cut without eating any junk food, no candy, no sweets, nothing, the more you forget about them, the more you forget about the taste. And you know, you kind of adapt to your new diet, your palate adapts, and this type of food tastes a lot better. Like I remember near the end of my cut, I was eating food like this and it was like candy to me. I'm not even exaggerating. But right now, you know, I had candy like literally 2 days ago when I was sick. So this, it still tastes like protein powder to me. But I know in a few months or in a couple weeks it will be good. So this is what I'm gonna having, and then after I eat this, because I don't want to upset my stomach, I'm gonna be taking my nighttime supplements, and this involves magnesium. It has benefits for relaxing you, getting you into better sleep, basically. Again, it's not a need, it's just something I'm experimenting with, so taking those. My omega-3s, something I do need. I only take 2 in the morning, 2 at night, and then an ashwagandha tablet. Ashwagandha, oh, I don't have the bottle, but ashwagandha has a lot of science backing showing that it helps with reducing stress and lowering cortisol levels, which I mean is the same thing, but yeah, just a lot of benefits for the body, and it actually works according to the research. The last thing again is another serving of the Metamucil, just an easy way to get in fiber and make sure my poops are great. For today, I hit my goals. I don't know the exact amount because my phone is recording. I don't have it with me, but I think I'm around 2,050 calories with about 235 grams of protein, something like that, 30 grams of fats and like 200 grams of carbs, or around that range. My fats is very, very low. I would definitely not suggest doing that. I think I'm doing 0.15 grams of fat per pound basically because I'm at 200 grams, and you want to do 0.3. So I should be eating like 60 grams of fat to hit my minimum mark, because it can affect your hormone levels, your appetite. You might actually be hungrier than you usually are if you eat way too little fats. And that's just because I didn't plan my diet properly. It's not because of anything that I did wrong, and I won't do it again tomorrow. I'm gonna make sure I get my fats in. That's something you wanna pay attention to. If you're having a higher carb, lower fat diet, you still wanna hit your minimum requirements. I would not go anywhere lower than 0.3 grams per pound of body weight, up to 0.5 grams. Because if you get too high fats, you will have less room for carbs, and yeah. But again, that's personal preference. Some people don't even like carbs. Honestly, if you're dieting, and the one thing that helps me the most is really, really planning ahead. So sometimes, especially during my bodybuilding show, I would take the night before and just go through exactly what I'm going to eat for the day. So I know, okay, this is how much food I can have before. This is when I'm gonna eat my food, because I know I get hungry at these times. That's just with experience, and the longer you diet and get to know yourself, because what applies to me won't necessarily translate to you. same as a fitness influencer. Just test it out, be consistent, stay on track. It's the only way you're gonna make progress is if you stay consistent, stay on your goals. Today was more of a, honestly, my usual day. I don't really plan my ahead because I work from home, so it's kind of easy just to, you know, oh, I'll just eat this, oh, I'll just have that. But yeah, that is that for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing how I eat my food, exactly how I structure it. Leave a like, subscribe, comment down below if you guys have another video idea you want me to do, or if you have any questions. I kind of want to do a Q&A video. I have almost 400 subs now, which is kind of crazy to think. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and